Conflux is the Ethereum of China, and it appears to be a very mixed bag. On the one hand, we've got very active development on GitHub, but on the other hand, the decentralized applications we see so far are not really that impressive. On the one hand, we've got a rising social following. On the other hand, there is strange supply expansion of the token that I cannot explain. This here is the first strange chart. We've got very erratic total value lock developments, spiking up, going down. Looks like there was some kind of incentive program where then people were farming and then people left again. We've got 8 decentralized applications in total. Number 1, of course, being a decentralized exchange. We've got 2 lending protocols. DeForce is relatively common. We've got this across different chains. And then we've got a lending protocol that's a copy or a fork of the old Aave protocol. So that's Goledo over here. We've got staking as well, but let's look at the staking statistics later on in this video. It's important to note that the current valuation of Conflux is way above its usage. The fully diluted market cap is 830 million. The total value locked though is only 27 million roughly. So the market is pricing in that there will be a lot of future growth in Conflux. Now here's what you can do on the lending protocols. You can basically borrow the CFX token in order to then short it, right? You can deposit, say USDC or USDT, and then for pretty much 0 APY, you can borrow CFX. The same is true here on Goledo. There are 2 potential games one might play with this. The first is to borrow the token, swap it to something you're bullish on, say Bitcoin, and then hope for CFX to lose versus Bitcoin to then swap it back again to make money from a falling CFX price. So that's called short selling. You can do this with those borrowing and lending platforms. The second thing one could do is, again, you can deposit your collateral, you borrow CFX against this, and then you stake it. Now, the borrowing costs of that CFX is lower than the staking reward. So you're doing interest rate arbitrage. You get, for example, the Bitcoin return, that's your collateral, and because you borrow CFX against it and you pay less for the borrowing than you get for the staking, you get on top of the Bitcoin returns whatever that interest rate spread is. The APY on staking Conflux is going down, but it's still at 12.6%. So you get 12.6% for staking, you pay 0.05% for borrowing CFX. Now I said that there is active development happening for Conflux, and I want to show you what I mean. This is the official GitHub account of Conflux, and in here we see several repositories, and we can see here with these green lines how much activity there is. There was an update just yesterday on the Rust-based Conflux implementation. 2 days ago, some changes to the Conflux decentralized applications. 4 days ago, something related to the documentation, etc. What would you update on the documentation? We can just go here to Insights, then to Network, and then we see the different commits. We click on those, and here we can see the changes. So it's not fake, it's real updates happening here. But the same as with so many other projects, there is an inflation in the own marketing of how advanced this whole ecosystem actually is. On the website, the first dApps are the same that we saw on DeFi Llama, right? Swappy, Goledo, DeForce, but then we get Curve, and Curve does not support Conflux. We see Mold Finance, Rhyme Finance, Trust Swap, Simple Swap, all of those applications had not been listed on DeFi Llama, and that's strange, right? You want to get your applications listed on DeFi Llama so that it's included in the total value locked. This here is the number of Reddit subscribers, ever increasing. This is the number of Twitter followers, also ever increasing. But why is the number of Telegram users going down? And why, according to Messari.io, did the number of circulating tokens suddenly shoot up that much? Was there such a big unlock? Again, according to Messari.io, the supply of tokens grew by 60%. I can't explain this. I simply just show the numbers here. Feel free to comment below what you think about this. 13% of CFX is staked. That's relatively low, but I personally actually like that. Many blockchains have a way larger fraction of staked tokens, and they use this as a unique selling point, right? We've got long-term investors. Many people want to lock up their tokens. We are a great investment. I personally do not like staked tokens because the more staked tokens we have, the more those staked tokens compound. What you do with staking in the end is nothing else but postpone and increase supply. So the people that would normally sell maybe the same amount of token in 6 months, they now will sell 15, 20 or 25% more tokens maybe a year from now. So the more staking we have, the more supply will eventually hit the market. I don't like to have a lot of staking. And luckily for Conflux, the fraction of staked tokens isn't that large. Over time, it is growing though, right? This is the number of staked tokens. The market cap of Conflux is huge relative to its total value locked. So people are speculating on a growing ecosystem. Now, do we currently see that, for example, the number of transactions is constantly growing? Is this justified? I think the answer is no. Look at this. This is the transaction count daily. We had our spikes, but now it's pretty much at minuscule levels of like 25,000 transactions a day, when we used to be at 2 million at some point. There are other statistics I can't really understand. This is the number of accounts. Now, what does accounts here mean? I don't think it's wallets, because that would make zero sense. Why do we have only 291 wallets? This is growing, but the number itself is super small. Feel free to share if you know what's going on here, right? This is on confluxscan.io, charts and stats, accounts, the number of accounts on the proof of stake Conflux network, not even 300. And so there are a lot of different statistics here. None of them seem to be constantly growing. It is a functioning blockchain. It is EVM compatible. We do have our decentralized apps that we can also see on other blockchains. There is a way to do interest rate arbitrage to get an additional 10, 12% on top of just holding Bitcoin, but you are exposed to the bridge risk, for example. So when you're bridging your assets over from, say, Ethereum to Conflux, you're betting on that bridge to stay stable, right? We had something happening with Phantom, for example. When you bridged your assets over via multi-chain from Ethereum to Phantom, and you did some fancy DeFi plays there, and then multi-chain was hacked, you pretty much lost the value of your either stable coins or Ethereum deposits, etc. So on the face of it, it looks like free money, but you are exposed to some risk. And in the end, this is the Ethereum of China, right? Who knows how trustworthy this in the end really is. The price of CFX is very much news driven. We saw a massive rally in January of this year, an outperformance over Ethereum of 1,400%. That was because of various partnerships within China with social networks, for example. But in the absence of such news, we just get a constant underperformance, unfortunately. This here is a 98% drop. This is how that looks like on a linear scale, right? A complete destruction of capital. So really, it's all a mixed bag. Progress on the development side, but nothing impressive yet. DeFi opportunities exists, but for what risk? And a supply expansion that probably causes this underperformance to Ethereum. This is not my only video on Conflux. I've made 3 other ones. Feel free to check out this channel. There's also Telegram. The link is down below.